Manga-Waido.
My name is Tomoyuki Oshima, 32 years old. It's been 3 years since I inherited Oshima Manufacturing from my father, a metalworking company that's been around since my grandfather's generation. Today is my father's 60th birthday. We invited the chairman and the president of the company, who are the same age as my father, and we had a dinner party at a high-class sushi restaurant. After greeting all the company presidents and friends of my father who attended the party, I turned bright red since I'm not a big drinker. Whew, everyone is as energetic as ever. Chef, can I have some water, please? Of course. I was sitting at the counter, vaguely reminiscing about the past. There were a lot of tough times, but now that I think about it, it's all good memories. At that moment,
Wait, Tomoyuki?
somebody calls my name, and I turn around in surprise when...
It's Tomoyuki after all.
There were some things in the past that aren't good memories. I met Reiko, the woman who approached me when I was in my first year of college. I was planning to take over the company around that time, and I entered the business administration department where I met Reiko in the university tennis club. She was a flamboyant woman then, and although she had no contact with a serious guy like me for a while, one day she started aggressively approaching me. Reiko was an attractive woman when we talked, and I ended up going out with her.
Hey, you're gonna take over the company, right?
Yeah, that's the plan.
If that's the case, I want to take a visit to your company.
I thought she was a pushy girl, but I had no reason to refuse her, so I took her to the nearest factory from the university.
Wait, this is the factory?
Yeah, well, there are other ones, but...
That's not what I heard.
What?
I went out with you because you said you're the boss's son, but you never said anything about a rundown factory in the middle of nowhere.
How rude!
That's enough. Let's break up.
Huh?
I guess I'll look for a new boss's son again.
And so, Reiko and I parted ways. She stopped coming to the tennis club, too. After that, Reiko started moving from one club to another looking for a boss's son, and I never saw her again. I was shocked at first, of course, but after I found out her true nature, I was happy I broke up with her early. I never wanted to see her again and never would. That's what I thought.
It's been a long time.
Long time no see.
I mean, how are you able to come to a restaurant like this? Did you win the lottery or something?
Well, it's my father's 60th birthday party.
Ah, the boss of that shabby factory. I remember because it was so shabby, but it's still in business, huh? Amazing.
Reiko, whom I met again after a long time and not changed since then in a bad way. I don't care what this woman says to me now. I thought I would just cut the conversation short and go back to my room, but...
Oh, right. I'm gonna be the president's wife.
I see. That's great news.
I met him at a blind date a while back, and unlike you, he's the next president of a real company. He's gonna be a president next year, and we're getting married then.
She was still looking for a boss's son.
He should be here soon, so I'll introduce him to you, too. Maybe he'll even give you a job as a favor.
No, thanks.
And besides, his parents live in a huge house. I'll show you a picture. You should know the difference in class.
Then Reiko took out her phone and showed me a picture of the man's family home. What? I was absolutely mortified when I saw the picture she held out to me. After all, it was... This is my parents' house.
Huh? What are you talking about?
No, I'm telling you, this house. It's definitely a picture of my parents' house. There's no way I can mistake it. There's no way there's another house exactly like it. This house is a very special house that my father asked an architect to build for him. My father, who was overzealous, ended up building a very flashy house since my mother's wish was to live in a palace. Became a bit of a famous spot in the neighborhood, and was even interviewed several times for a local TV program.
No. I don't understand. How could this be your house?
That's my line.
There's no way the boss of a shabby factory could live in a place like this. Can you stop trying to make yourself look better?
I'm telling you. A man in an expensive-looking suit entered the restaurant, and then...
Finally! This is my boyfriend, Makoto Suzuki. And this is the son of the rag factory I was dating a long time ago. So listen, Makoto, you see...
Apparently, the man who came was the next boss of some company, according to Reiko. I see. I don't know who you are, but can you quit talking nonsense? This is my parents' house. How could you call it your own? What are you trying to do? That's my line. Oh, are you? Maybe he's jealous because he's bitter about how he was rejected by you.
Seriously? That's hilarious.
You know, I'm sorry to disappoint you, but Reiko is getting married to me. She deserves to be the boss's wife at a company like ours, not like your shabby old factory.
That's right. I'm sorry. I'm gonna marry this man, Makoto Suzuki, the next president of Scat Industries, and I'm gonna become Reiko Suzuki.
What? Scat Industries? What? You're the son of a factory worker and you don't even know our company? Scat Industries is a well-known company in the medical equipment and rocket parts industry. Of course I know about Scat Industries. But if you're the next president, your last name should be... Hey, Tomoyuki! How long are you taking a break? There's still some liquor left. Oh, Dad, it's just that... Oh, that's a picture of our house! I knew it would look gorgeous even in photos.
Wait, what are you talking about? Are you and your sons both liars or something?
No way! When Makoto saw my father's attitude, for some reason his expression suddenly clouded over.
This house is Makoto's parents' house. The next boss wouldn't lie.
The next boss? Tomoyuki, who is this?
Listen carefully. This is my fiancé and the next president of Scat Industries.
Oh, I've heard so much about you. What? Dad? Hey, Kitagawa! Your son's here! Oh, nice to meet you. Well, you're a very disciplined man to come all the way out here to say hello. No, well... Wait, did I tell my son about this place? Oh, here he comes! The one who came at my father's invitation was President Kitagawa. He's also a friend of my father and has taken good care of me since I was a child. And he is the current president of Scat Industries. He even went to the trouble of bringing his fiancée. Your son is a good man. So, where is that son of mine? What are you talking about? He's right here in front of you. No, he's not my son, though. What? Indeed, I had heard that President Kitagawa was planning to have his son take over the company. And as you can see, the president's last name is Kitagawa. Although I was not acquainted with his son who was overseas, I knew it was strange given his surname Suzuki. In fact, after President Kitagawa arrived, Makoto seemed to be drenched in sweat and... No matter how drunk I am, there's no way I can mistake my son's face. Wait! Oh, I see! Suzuki! Sorry, you've grown into quite the man. So, how's it going? Did you find a new job? Well, new job?
What are you talking about? Makoto, you're the next president of Scat Industries, aren't you? What do you mean? You're not the president's son?
Even Reiko started to look pathetic at this point. Don't tell me. You're still lying to me?
What do you mean lying? Makoto even tells me about his work, and the details too.
Well, I'm sure he could talk about the basic things. After all, he's a former employee of mine.
What? Former employee?
I remember it well. After all, it's not every day you fire an employee for lying. Here's how it happened. A man named Makoto Suzuki was once employed by Scat Industries as a mid-career hire. However, when upper management became suspicious and investigated him, it was discovered that he had also falsified his final education on his resume. He was fired immediately. Apparently, he quit the factory job I introduced him to after a short period. I heard he's now living at home off of his parents. I didn't think he was still doing this.
Makoto, what's going on? Explain.
I'm so sorry! I lied to you.
No way.
According to what Makoto confessed, he apparently has a habit of telling lies. He also lied to make himself look good at the blind date where he met Reiko. He was unable to turn back and kept telling lies. You're no longer an employee of our company, and it's none of my business if you lie to me or not. But I can't keep quiet when someone uses my name without my permission, can I? Don't ever use my company to lie again. If you do it again... I'm so sorry! Please forgive me! Oh dear. I'm sorry to spoil your happy celebration. Now get out of here. Yes, sir. Hey, I'm not done talking with you. You're using photos of my precious house without permission, Well, Where did you hear about us? I saw it on TV. I was close by, so I took a picture. And you used that to say that was your parents' house. Listen, my mother's dream is in that house too. And you used that to cheat people. I'm sorry. Apologizing won't help. I'll have my lawyer contact you shortly. Get out of here. I'm so sorry. Well then, Reiko, let's go.
What? You lied to me and you still think you can go out with me? I don't get it. I have no use for you since you're not the boss's son. Get out of here.
No! And so the self-proclaimed president-elect was kicked out without a second thought. All right, let's start over. Come on, Tomoyuki. You can still drink, can't you? Your company is going to expand overseas from now on, so you need to be stronger with alcohol. Yes.
What? Overseas expansion? That old factory?
Oh, by the way, that thing you saw? The place I showed Reiko that time was the first factory built by my grandfather. It wasn't being used then, but I kept it as a memorial. Now there are several factories, and they were planning to build a factory overseas in the next term.
What? If that's the case, you should have told me earlier.
We haven't seen each other since then, so there was no need to tell you.
Don't be so cold. I'm sorry about that time. It's not too late to start over now.
No way.
What?
How many years do you think it's been? And I didn't really like you then either.
But how could I support you as a boss's wife and…
You're really underestimating the president's position, aren't you? It's really unpleasant. So why don't you get out of my face?
What?
But I'm rooting for you.
Rooting?
Your quest to find the boss's son.
What? I'm gonna find someone richer than you and become the wife of the boss, even if you don't tell me.
Okay, good luck. With Reiko leaving the restaurant in this manner, we return to our room and continue celebrating. A year has passed since then. With business overseas going well, Oshima Manufacturing overseas expansion can be considered a success for the time being. We intend to continue to expand our business and spread our technological capabilities. And recently, I bumped into a classmate from college and had a chance to hear about Reiko's current situation. She continues her search for the golden opportunity without any shame, and has finally managed to get married. But once again, her partner lied about being the president of the company. And this time, she was even cheated out of money. So it looks like she got herself into a mess. She's now living in the countryside at her parents' house. Incidentally, my father sent a content-certified letter to Makoto Suzuki demanding an apology and the deletion of all data in the name of his lawyer. I feel like I've been shown the greatness of my father who gets things done correctly. Well, I don't care about those people anymore. I want to further expand my business, preserve the first factory my grandfather built, and find a life partner. I'm going to keep running to make my dreams come true for my family, my employees, and myself.
My name is Haruki Suzumiya. I'm 32. I've been working hard, but my life as an employee has been pretty rough. I started working at a small trading firm. In my late 20s, I was scouted and moved into a Chinese foreign trading company. I was given a lot of freedom within the company, so I felt like I was accomplishing something. But I thought everything was going well. But I completely failed at a presentation one day. The Chinese CEO said that I was going to be fired, and I was unemployed right before I turned 30. I managed to find another place to work. But no matter how hard I worked, I wasn't going to be able to make as much as I did before. My wife, Mao, was pretty upset, but she went out to work part-time to support everything. It was about a year after I was unemployed that she started acting funny.
I'm so tired. Oh, you're home.
Welcome home. I feel like you're coming home late a lot recently.
My job is busy. There aren't enough workers, you know.
I see. You seem like you're having a hard time, too.
I'm taking care of the house, too, while I work. Being a housewife is tough. I'm gonna go to bed.
Sure. Good night. She wasn't only late coming home recently. She was also uninterested. Maybe I left her alone too much because I was focused on my job. It was all because I screwed up. But once my job situation got settled, I'd be able to spend more time with Mao. Then we should be able to work things out. However, a few days later, Mao came home late once again.
Phew, I think I had way too much to drink.
You seem to have had way too much to drink.
Yeah, it was a farewell party. You gotta understand, even a part-time worker needs to have a social life. I'm gonna bed, so go ahead and fix yourself dinner or something.
She went straight to bed. Maybe she was drunk. She forgot her phone on the table. I thought I would take it to the bed and picked it up when... What the hell is this? I saw the message notification on her phone, and I could feel the blood leaving my face. Today was fun. I'm going to have so much fun with you next time, too. No way! No matter how you looked at it, it was from the man she was having an affair with. Maybe she was trying to hide who it was from. The name was just a bunch of emojis. It had to be a man. My hand was shaking when I unlocked her phone. I had known her password from since we were just dating. And then from the phone, I found a large amount of proof of her affair. No way. This can't be. Apparently, she went over to his house frequently, and they were out drinking with just the two of them today as well. I just saw a bunch of conversations, in many of which Mao was bad-mouthing me. I was too shocked, so I couldn't do anything but freeze in place. The next day, I left work early and waited for Mao at home.
I'm home. Wait, what is this?
Oh, welcome home. Great job today, dear. I have the bath ready for you and fixed up dinner. What do you want to do? Shower or eat first?
Huh? No, what's going on?
I just thought about everything I've done. I've let you handle everything up until this point. I'm sorry. I thought about what I did yesterday and felt like I needed to rethink my actions. Although it was for our way of life, I did leave her alone. Yes, she had an affair, but I needed to show her that I cared and loved her. I decided to make her fall for me again. I started talking to her more often and taking care of things around the house more often. On the other hand, she was still acting awkward around me, but I didn't give up and kept communicating with her. On the weekends, I invited her out to go shopping. Mao, here's a present for you.
Huh?
It's our wedding anniversary. Thank you for everything. I love you, sweetie.
What's gotten into you?
Oh, I've just left you all alone with work, you know? I just want to remember what I felt when I started dating you. Oh yeah, want to go to a hot spring trip next weekend? I have a hotel room reserved.
Sure, yeah.
I kept working hard every month. Mao slowly started changing how she acted towards me. And she came home early every day. On weekends, she would even invite me out, and we would hold hands when we were on dates. About half a year after I found out she was having an affair.
Do you love me, Haruki?
Of course! I love you!
Me too! I love you!
She talked to me like when we started dating. Oh yeah, it's your birthday party next month, right? We've just been so busy these past few years. How about we invite your parents for the first time in a while and have dinner?
Really? Yeah, that's not a bad idea. I think they'll be happy to hear that too.
We were having a birthday party at her house. The day of the party, we met with her parents for the first time in a while, and everything was going well. You two are getting along well. I'm jealous.
Seriously, it's like you two just got married yesterday.
A little while back, we were arguing a lot because of work and not sharing responsibilities. Then Haruki stepped up and fixed things.
Yeah, that's true.
I'm happy to hear that.
Oh, sorry. I'm gonna run to the bathroom. I sat down on the toilet. Phew. I stared at the mirror and looked back at everything that had happened so far. We were both completely distant from one another. However, now that we were having dinner with her parents, like we just got married, I was surprised that I got this far with her. I don't know how long I've waited for this day, and I've held back so much. All for this day! I held back my laughter and put the plan I'd been cooking up for half a year into action. But first, I called the people I had planned. I had them come over, as promised. Alright, let's move things along. I went back to everyone like nothing happened.
But it's so nice being with everyone again.
Right. When did you want to get back together again, Haruki? Oh, there won't be a next time.
Huh? What do you mean?
Oh, I'm saying this is the last time.
What are you talking about? We can come here for your birthday or something.
You're the one being weird, Mao.
Huh?
I don't want to be with the family of a wife who had an affair. No way.
What?
What? Affair? Mao, what is he talking about?
No way. Don't be weird like that, Haruki. I didn't.
I have proof. I've kept all of it for this day.
What?
I threw out a bunch of photos of proof from my bag. I had photos that my PI took of them. There were photos from her phone, too.
Yay! Why? What?
What the hell is this, Mao?
What's going on?
There's a lot more, too. I've had my PI really put his best work into this.
What are you talking about, PI?
Yes. The second I found out about her affair, I started planning. I went straight to the PI, and in half a year, I had more than enough evidence.
No, this isn't what it looks like, Haruki. This is...
What is it then? You knew about everything too, right?
What are you talking about?
The reason I was fired? The person who deleted all of the presentation data at my first company? Yes. The reason that I failed at my presentation was because someone deleted my data, but it wasn't my fault. The backup was also deleted by... You would know who did it, because it was the person you were having an affair with and my coworker, Sosuke Yoshi! I know he did it! The reason I decided that I would take this much action was because I knew that I found this out along the way. I knew someone within the company had to have deleted it, but I just didn't know who. However, from the conversation they had, I could tell it was him. It's not enough to just shove the proof in their face and sue them! I had to draw her back in and shove her way back down into the depths of hell! I felt terrible holding her hand and pretending I loved her, but it was all possible because I knew I wanted to take revenge on her! The whole thing made her parents furious. Mao was pale and lost all color in her face. But the show wasn't over yet. Oh, she's coming soon.
Huh? Who's coming soon?
I went to the door to open it. Then someone walked in.
I'm Yoshi's wife. I'm sorry for the trouble that my husband has caused.
What?
I'm his father. I'm so sorry. You better beg for forgiveness too! I'm sorry! The people I had coming were Yoshi, his wife, and his parents. I could tell that he was already scolded pretty badly. He also had a distinct lack of color in his face. I'm sorry for the trouble, Miss Reiko.
No, it's okay. All the evidence you've gathered has really helped everything go smoothly.
After I found out about everything, I'd been in touch with Yoshi's wife. We had both decided to pick a day to shove it in their respective parents' faces. It's been a minute, huh, Sosuke? How have you been? Guess you've seen better days, huh? I'm so sorry for messing with a coworker's wife. Your wife.
No, this is all a misunderstanding. I only love you.
Just stop. Miss Reiko, if you don't mind.
I'm sorry for your ears, but...
She took out a voice recorder. What was on the recording was audio of Mao and Sosuke drunk. You could clearly hear them declaring an undying love for one another. This is... The part where they were laughing about the fact that he had deleted my data, and you know, audio recordings of things you really didn't want your parents hearing?
Gah!
Yes, I had found out that they were meeting at his house, so I had his wife set up a bunch of mics around there. She worked as a CA. The meetings took place while she was away for work. I was able to secure this evidence thanks to her cooperation. This was how everything was exposed, and what remained were husks of who they were. Looking at the two, I felt overwhelming joy rush over me.
Haruki, I'm so sorry, but I really love you now.
You're still gonna say that? If you don't mind...
I love you, Sosuke! Give me a baby, please! Ah!
You shameful little! The whole scene turned into chaos with them begging and crying. It was a little over an hour, and they began begging at our feet. But neither Reiko nor I were having any of it. We both went home. A few days later, I started my next step. I charged for damages from Mao, which her parents paid immediately. But the problematic part was the divorce. I kept shoving it in her face, but she kept saying no. Eventually, she started stalking me, and even came into the hotel that I was staying at temporarily. I immediately called the police, and she was arrested. We were able to get a divorce after that. Sosuke was fired at his old job. I could have sued him, but all the time I lost in my career wasn't coming back. I sent the audio anonymously to his company, but I guess he was fired for that. I hope he spends his days worried if he'll be sued or not. Reiko also successfully divorced Sosuke. She also received a hefty amount of money. On the other hand, he had lost his job and his parents' support, so he lives on the streets. I, on the other hand, moved to avoid Mao and started my new life. I'm supposed to go for celebratory drinks with Miss Reiko at a restaurant of her choosing. Phew, I feel better. This whole thing fixed all of the problems that had been plaguing me from my 20s. I was able to restart, finally. I'm going to make sure I find my true happiness now. My name is Akira Yamauchi. After graduating from university, I lived alone in the city and worked as a salesman. I entered this industry not knowing left from right, but my work was going well because I seemed to be a people person. I was blessed with good relationships within the company, and my clients were good to me. I like talking to people. I think this is largely due to the influence of my parents, who run a flower shop in my hometown. My parents' shop, Hanaya Yamachan, is a small flower shop that's always been loved by the locals. Growing up, that store was part of my everyday life. I was praised by customers who came to buy flowers when I did my homework in the store while tending to the store, and I was so happy to be praised that I willingly tended to the store myself. I spent a lot of time in the store during elementary school like that. When I entered junior high school, I enjoyed playing games and baseball with my friends more than spending time with customers, so I naturally spent less time at the store. And now that I'm working, I haven't been able to get back to my parents' house much in the past 2 years. I had gone home for the holidays a few times, but I was busy with work, so even when I did stop by my parents' house, it was often for a day trip back home. My father, the owner, is 58 this year. Come to think of it, he's often said that his body ached since I was at home. I'm worried about him, and since I didn't get to see him last New Year's, I'll have to go back home soon. It was right around that time that I got a call from my childhood friend, Ichika. Ichika's what you might call a rich girl. Her father was an executive working for a large company, so they were well off, and she always wore brand name clothes. As a childhood friend of mine, I think Ichika is beautiful. She said that she was scouted by model agencies several times, but she turned them down because of her dream of becoming a designer. A modeling agency? That's your chance to be famous! What a waste.
It's okay. I'm going to be famous as a designer.
We've had that exchange a few times, but Ichika was able to make her dream come true and become a designer, which I think is amazing. Ichika was cute, always cheerful, and popular with the guys. Unfortunately, Ichika's attitude towards me for some reason was very harsh. In elementary school, we were childhood friends who lived nearby, and we used to hang out at the flower shop after school. After junior high school, for whatever reason, Ichika's tone and attitude towards me became rougher. Valentine's Day in 7th grade was the worst.
An unattractive guy like you don't get chocolate anyway, right? You're miserable, so I'm going to give you mine. You should be grateful.
It's fine that she gave me chocolate, but I didn't know if she was trying to harass me or if she was just a bad cook. But she gave me the hardest homemade chocolates every time. Thanks.
Huh.
Giving back gifts to a wealthy girl like Ichika on White Day was a hard task to fill at the time. Well, those are good memories now.
Hey, you listening?
Oh, sorry!
You don't know about your father's condition, do you?
His condition?
Your father. He's sick.
What? Dad's sick? What do you mean? I didn't hear anything.
I knew it. He probably didn't tell you because he didn't want you to worry.
Ichika worked as a designer at her parents' house and helped out at my family's florist shop every once in a while when she had the time, because she wanted to improve her own senses.
I noticed he hasn't been doing well recently. I helped out at the store for the first time in a while today. I noticed he was different from usual. So I asked him, and he said he's scheduled for surgery, though the date hasn't been set yet.
The man who's never been sick? Getting surgery? Seriously, why didn't he call me first? Dad!
He told me not to tell you or the clients yet, but, hey, can't you come back?
When Ichika told me what had happened, I took a paid holiday for the first time since I joined the company and rushed back to my parents' house. My parents were surprised by my sudden return, but they welcomed me warmly. Dad, Ichika told me what happened. Are you okay? I'm sorry for worrying you. I have cancer. What? I was so shocked, I couldn't continue my words. Oh no, sorry to surprise you. I found it early, so it's still in the early stages. And if the surgery goes well, I should be out of the hospital in a week or 2. Well, that's a bit of a relief. But you know, every year my body gets older, and it doesn't listen to me like it used to. I'm thinking of taking this opportunity to close the store. What? This store is going to disappear? I was worried about my father's health, but this store too. As I thought about it, memories of the days I spent in this store as a child flashed through my mind. My father would deliver flowers to customers' homes even when the store was closed if he received a call from them. He valued human connections. He kept a daily diary of what conversations he had with customers and what flowers they bought. This store gave him a purpose, and to think that this store was going to disappear? Dad, Can I take over the place? Akira. 3 months later, I resigned from my job and started working here. Ichika found out about the situation and said to me, "There's no way you can manage this store. You have zero sense of aesthetics." But I've been tending this store since I was a child, and I know all the procedures. I'd been trained in sales since I entered the workforce, and honestly, I was confident in my ability to sell. My mother taught me everything I needed to know, which I didn't know from just tending to the store. There was a lot to learn, and it was hard work, but with my sales talk and natural charm, the business was going well. Or it seemed so at first. Of course, reality didn't go that easily. Fresh flowers are fragile. We have to purchase in large quantities and throw away the damaged ones while we still make a profit. Also, the weather changes the quantity and price of the flowers, and the arrangement of the flowers in the store changes the sales. Although I learned from my mother, the more I did it, the more I learned that experience and taste were important. I've been doing my best with the support of my regular customers, but by the time I've been fully involved in the business for 6 months, we were approaching the red. This month we're in the red. At this pace, next month too. What the hell am I supposed to do?
Akira, are you still up?
We're in the red for this month. I talked big to my dad, but this is no good.
Akira, you're doing your best. Even when your father was standing in the store, there were times when we were in the red. Let's do our best next month.
Yeah, okay.
Well, I have to go to the hospital first thing tomorrow, so I'm going to bed.
Yeah, good night. Just after she left my room, I heard a loud noise of something falling over, and I rushed out of the room. And then... Mom! My mother was lying face down in the hallway.
I'm fine. I just stumbled a little.
You have a fever! I carried her to her room. Her fever went down after a couple of days, and it was nothing serious. When her fever went down, she tried to work in the store, saying, "I'm still worried with you on your own." I tried to stop her, but if this keeps up, we're going to lose people before the store. Damn it! It wasn't supposed to be like this! It had been a year since I took over the store. If we continue to dawdle and make a loss, it's going to be a problem for my father and the others. The words, "going out of business," appeared in my mind. It was just then when Ichika approached me. Before I knew it, she was in front of the store, and as she looked around...
The store has become so shabby. It looks like it's going to collapse at any moment, doesn't it? The flowers are crying.
Flowers are crying, huh? You're right. Ichika was right. I felt sorry for the flowers, too, if I didn't do anything. Ichika?
What?
I'm actually thinking of closing the store this time. Ichika seemed to freeze for a moment. You were right. I wasn't good enough. I underestimated the florist business. I had a good record in sales, so I was honestly pretty confident, but I couldn't do anything. I almost cried as I spit out the words that I couldn't even get out of my mouth.
I knew it. I knew it wasn't going to work with your lack of taste.
I wasn't expecting kind words, but Ichika's words that followed up left me completely disheartened. Then I'll give this store to you, since you have good taste.
Are you sure?
What?
Don't tell me to give it back to you later.
Ichika? Ichika then left the store and went right to my father. She really ended up buying the store. A week later...
I want it to look something like this.
Ichika showed me a design she had created for the store. The stylish exterior and interior of the store was like a cafe. The design was completely different from before, and it looked like it would be easy for young people to enter. I think it's nice, but I don't think it will work just by changing the store's appearance.
Don't underestimate my connections.
On the day of the reopening, the store was lined with customers even before it opened. It turns out Ichika was a bit of an influencer on social media, and her fans came to the store because it was a flower shop she produced. In addition, Ichika had been commissioned to create posters for a major florist chain a few years ago, and she reached out to many people in the industry who were connected to her through her contacts. As a result, the store became very prosperous, was covered by the media, and was busier than it had been in a long time. Thus, Hanaya Yama-chan was reborn as Gentle Flowers, produced by Ichika. Ichika asked me if it would be okay to change it completely from before. She was concerned about changing the name of the store as well. My father told me that he left everything to Ichika, saying, "Do whatever you like." But still, it's surprising that the bad-mouthed Ichika would be so interested in Gentle Flowers. She named the store after your feelings. My feelings? Ichika told me that she wanted to put your kind feelings of wanting to protect your family and bringing smiles to the customers' faces into the name of the store. What? Ichika said that? Oh, don't tell Ichika about this. She asked me not to tell you. I thought she hated me because we always argued. I didn't expect Ichika to feel that about me. Ichika continued to work at the flower shop while working as a designer during the day. As we worked together, I began to see many faces of Ichika that I didn't know existed, who kept getting involved with me in annoying ways.
Thank you for always coming. Is that your grandson? Hello. Which flower do you like?
She's a completely different person from when she's with me. I was surprised to see Ichika smiling at the customers with her attentiveness. I found myself following Ichika with my eyes all the time.
What are you looking at? Stop spacing out and move your hands.
For some reason, Ichika's face started to look cute, even when she came at me like she always did before. That's right. 6 months after the flower shop reopened, before Christmas, I asked Ichika out on a date.
I don't have a design job right now, so I can go with you.
Ichika looked happy, which made her so cute. On the day of the date, Ichika arrived a little late.
Sorry I'm late. I wore something different today, so it took me a lot of time to get ready.
What? Ichika is apologizing to me? And she seemed to be dressed more gracefully than usual. You're being really honest today.
Oh, shut up. I got asked out by someone I like. Let me put in a little effort.
And a few years later, Ichika and I got married. With me and Ichika, Gentle Flowers was filled with the smiles of our many customers every day.
My name is Kento Suzuki. I have mediocre looks and average academic ability. On top of that, I have no special skills of my own. My brother, Tomonori, is handsome, tall, and can study well. We're so different that people ask if we're really brothers. My parents also love only my brother, who is very bright and often compared me to him.
A 70? Why do you keep getting these scores?
Because the test was difficult. Tomonori always scores over a 90. Why is there such a difference between brothers? I did my best. You need to learn from Tomonori and study harder. No video games from today. What? My brother also makes fun of me, snickering at me as a pathetic guy, and deliberately starts playing smartphone games besides me while I'm banned from playing games. He's a real cheeky bastard as I see it. But when my brother, who had excellent grades, was accepted to a difficult private high school, the discrimination from my parents became even worse. I was the only one without an allowance, and the only birthday present I received was a 500 yen book card. I was even left out on family trips because my grades were not up to par. But no matter how hard I tried, I didn't grow as academically as my brother. I ended up attending a local public high school that was below average. My parents still compared me with my brother and scolded me all the time. But I had already gotten good at not listening to them by then, so I just went through with it and enjoyed my high school life. But my brother's one-upping habits only got worse. You're lucky you always get to play. I'm not. I'm studying too. I'm just saying. It's easy for people like you who don't have expectations from their parents. So hard when they expect so much from you because you're such a failure. Don't blame me. Why don't you just say that to Mom and Dad? Huh? Don't you dare talk back to me, you failure! Ah! My brother threw away my cherished plastic model into the trash. Huh! After that, my brother started to attack me for anything and everything. It happened before, but never this often. The high school he goes to has tests every day, and he seems to have classes until the 8th period, and he comes home late. I know it's stressful, but I couldn't stand it when he called me trash and a failure every time we saw each other. I talked to my mother about it without any expectations, and
How could this kind Tomonori say such a terrible thing?
my brother acts like a good boy in front of my parents, so they don't believe me at all. On the contrary,
Don't you think it's embarrassing to be in the double digits at a bottom-ranked high school?
I'm trying my best too. I'm doing better than before.
Look at Tomonori. That boy is working hard for first place.
I've told you so many times not to compare me with my brother.
You have the same blood as Tomonori. You can do it if you try. Work harder.
After that, every time my mother sees me,
I'm ashamed to have a son like you.
she began to whine. Apparently, the neighbor was amused that the brothers went to different high schools at different levels.
What a well-raised older brother. His younger brother, on the other hand.
And snickered at her. My mother and even my father. You're my son! You can do it if you try! It was really painful for me to stay at home. I thought about getting a job and leaving home after high school. I won't allow a high school graduate! My father was furious, and I ended up going to college. Damn it! I'll move out as soon as I graduate from college. I started working part-time at a pub to save money from living alone. I didn't want to be at home as much as possible, so working late at night at the pub suited me. Then one day, welcome! Hey, Kento! What? Why are you here, brother? I found a pay stub in your room. It had the name of this store on it. Why are you going in my room without my permission? Hey, you can't talk to a customer like that, or I'll tell the manager. I only had a bad feeling about this, but I had no choice but to let my brother through as a customer. Then, sure enough, he kept calling me over and over again. Bring me another hand towel. You dropped it. Pick it up. Do something funny, he would say. That was the extent of the harassment that day. Since then, my brother came to my store often just to mess with me. I told the manager and my coworkers about it, and they helped me out, so I didn't have to feel bad about it every time. Really, the best thing to have is an understanding boss and friends. Then I graduated from college without incident. From the manager, would you like to work with us as a full-time employee? I really liked this place, so I agreed to keep working at the pub and started living alone, which was my long-cherished dream. Just around this time, I also had a girlfriend named Maya. She was one of the part-timers, and we hit it off. I confessed my feelings to her, and she said yes. I was going to cherish this small but irreplaceable happiness. But that day, I was having tea with Maya on the terrace of a cafe. Then that jerk of a brother of mine showed up. Oh, Kento! Is this your girlfriend? Yeah.
Nice to meet you. My name is Maya Hayase.
Maya! Why don't you stop hanging around such a failure of my brother and go out with me? Brother, what are you saying? I'm a graduate student at White University. I'm planning to work for a prestigious company after graduation. I won't be able to make a living as a low-income guy working at a pub like him, am I? You should go out with me. I don't care what he says about me, but I couldn't allow him to mess around with Maya. So I lost my temper and stood up. At that moment,
I decline. I like Kento's kind and sincere nature.
I'm kind too, though. And my educational background.
You've been harassing Kento, haven't you? I've witnessed many times at the store. I have no intention of dating someone like you.
What the?
Now, if you'll excuse me.
Maya pulled my arm and said, let's go. My brother was getting really angry behind our back, but we ignored him and left. After that, I got messages from my brother telling me, who do you think you are? And come apologize with the girl. But of course, I ignored them all. When the annoying messages stopped coming in and I had forgotten all about the incident at the cafe, my brother finally decided to harass me in the worst way. That day, when I went to work at the pub, the part-timer turned blue. What's going on?
Well, a customer canceled their reservation today.
What? Today was supposed to be a private party. Did you tell them again about how you have to pay the full price of the course if you cancel on the day?
No, they said that they were canceling and hung up. I tried to call them again several times. No answer.
Let me see. I look at the reservation book. I've seen this number before. I'll call them again. I called the number from my own phone when... I knew it. Oh, Kento? Are you finally ready to get down on your knees to me? Yes, it was my brother who answered the phone. Suzuki is a common last name. It was another staff member who took the reservation, so I didn't notice until now. Brother, you didn't cancel on purpose, did you? No way! I thought I sent you a text saying I was gonna cancel. Wait, did I not send you the text? My brother was laughing on the end of the phone. He's obviously trying to get at me. I'm sure they told you when you made the reservation that if you cancel on the day, you have to pay for the entire course. Huh? I forgot about that. Oh, why don't you cover for it instead? But if you get down on your knees and apologize for the other day, I'll pay up. You gotta be kidding me! That? Ha! You'll be howling for the rest of your life! The phone hangs up before I can finish. You're the one who should get down on your knees! I then reported everything to the manager when he came to work. It was my family. Can you please let me take care of this? I asked him and he left it to me to deal with. After getting the manager's permission, I immediately contacted Maya. In fact, Maya is enrolled in law school and aspires to become a lawyer. She introduced me to a senior student at her university who works at a law firm. Let's see. First, let's send him a content-certified letter as a warning, shall we? If he backs down, good. If not, we will have to take further measures. Exactly. Please do so. With the manager's approval, I decided to send a content-certified letter to my brother in the name of a lawyer. The next week, what do you think you're doing? What is this, a claim for damages? My brother called me screaming. It's because you kept ignoring my calls, refusing to pay for the cancellation. You gotta be kidding me! Dad, of all people, opened the mailbox and he's telling me to get the hell out of my house! I don't care. You're an adult. Unless you want to go to court, just hurry up and... I've spent all my money hanging out! I'm broke! That's none of my business. Anyway, if you don't pay up, the next time we meet, we'll be in court. Wait, you're kidding! Ha! You'll be howling for the rest of your life! My brother is no fool and he knew he couldn't get away with it. He took out a credit card loan and reluctantly came to pay for the cancellation. He was so scared when I really tried to fight back. How pathetic. Afterwards, my parents told me that my brother had been officially rejected from a job he was about to get. I sent an anonymous message to my brother's employer about the harassment in the restaurant and this no-show cancellation, but I'll keep that to myself. Anyway, my brother didn't get the job at the big company he was hoping for, and he also failed to get a job at a small company, so he's stuck at home in shock. Even those parents seem to have woken up. Please! Please let me live with you! They kicked me out! Good for you. It's a good chance to be independent. I apologize! I don't have any money! Please help me! No way. We're blood brothers! Help me! I can't live in an e-cafe anymore! Don't be a brother when it only suits you! Get the hell out of here! No! Oh yeah, don't come near the store or my house. If you come, I'll call the police as soon as you show up, so be prepared. With that, I kicked my brother out of the store. Even after that, my brother sent me whiny messages asking me to help him, saying that he had no money and could not even eat properly. But of course, I ignored all of them. By the way, after that, to my surprise, those parents also came clinging to me. Kento, please come back! We're lonely with just the two of us! Apparently, after they kicked my brother out, my father's illness was discovered, and he suddenly became very weak.
We need you to take care of us in our old age, Kento.
Let's get along from now on, and called me selfishly. If you're lonely, why don't you call my brother back?
We don't need Tomonori. We sent him to graduate school and now he's unemployed. We're so disappointed in him.
You make good money and you have a girlfriend, don't you? Marry her and move in with us!
Yes, let your wife take care of us.
The four of us can live happily together! You gotta be kidding me! I'll live happily with Maya without you! I blocked their calls on the spur of the moment, but I don't regret it. If I stay connected to those two, they're only gonna ruin my life. After that, I got married to Maya. We have a beautiful child and are living happily. Messages from my brother gradually decreased, and recently it stopped coming altogether. I was passing by my parents' house the other day and saw a nameplate with their last name on it. I wonder if they all got along and moved into a shabby apartment. Anyway, I had no intention of contacting them. I'm just an average guy. I know that there are very few people that I can protect with my abilities. I want to take care of my real family and friends, and I'm prepared to do whatever it takes to do that.
I'm Hakura Sakai. I'm 31. I live with my husband and my daughter Mayu.
Mommy, look, it's a butterfly!
Wow, so cute! My neighborhood was rich in nature. It was 30 minutes away from the station on foot, so it was a bit inconvenient, but other than that, this place was really nice and quiet. But then, this family moved in.
Hello there! Does your child go here too?
Huh? Yeah?
Cool. I'm Yua Yurata. This is Alan. We just moved here.
Oh, I see. I'm Hakura Sakai. This is Mayu.
Cool. Nice to meet you.
She looked different. And even though her son was still in kindergarten, he had dyed hair. But you shouldn't judge a book by its cover, right? I tried to be friends with her. But then, I immediately regretted it. She was so rude. Like this one time when I was handing out souvenirs to the other moms, she just came and took some for herself. And this other time, she asked this other mom if she could buy her designer handbag from her. Then, a few days later, I was having a cookout with family and friends out in the yard when…
Smells delicious! Can we join you?
Our kids were there too, so it was hard to say no. Then they started eating like crazy. I tried talking to her, but she just said, "Not now, I'm eating," and told me to get lost. Then they ate dessert and left without cleaning up or saying thank you. We were all stunned. She's so rude. Yeah, better stay away from her. She was unbelievable. We decided to stay away from her. But our kids went to the same kindergarten, so that was easier said than done. Mayu, what happened to your arm?
Alan hit me!
What? According to my daughter, Alan hit her and took her toy from her. I told the teacher about this and asked her to have a talk with his mother, but…
Oh, boys will be boys. Relax.
She didn't even apologize. And her son was out of control. It just got worse from there. He started hurting the other kids too. All the parents told their kids to stay away from him. The teacher tried to talk to his mom many times, but she never listened. Then she finally snapped. She said if we didn't leave her alone, she was gonna tell her husband. Apparently, her husband was really scary. I saw her at the grocery store the other day. She was with her husband and he looked really scary. Yeah, I saw that too. I think he has a tattoo as well. People started talking. Maybe her husband was Yakuza or something. We were terrified. We couldn't say anything to them anymore. Mayu stayed away from him like I said. A few months later, she graduated from kindergarten. Then, they announced the classes for elementary school. Yes, Alan isn't in her class. There were only 2 classes per grade at the school, so I was worried that she might end up in the same class as him, but oh, thank goodness. During summer vacation, I heard she tried to steal vegetables from a neighbor's farm. She also tried to steal designer clothes from one of her friends. She was out of control, but our kids weren't in the same class anymore, so it was such a relief. But I underestimated her. A few days later, when I was out with a few friends at a cafe, Parents' Day is coming up. Can't wait. Yeah, but the school, it's so far away. I know. The elementary school was pretty far away. It took us about 30 minutes on foot to get there.
But hey, they said you can drive there if you want.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Really? A new parking lot opened up just behind the school. Parents who lived far away were allowed to drive there. I'm gonna take my car then. Anyone want a ride? I offered the other moms a ride, but then…
I heard that!
Ugh, it was Arata. I didn't even see her.
I want a ride too. I hate walking.
Oh, sorry, it's only for 4 people. Oh, come on, just squeeze me in. And I've seen your car, it's nice. I've always wanted to ride in it. Sorry, but I can't help you. And you live close to school. It's only like a 10-minute walk, right?
Shut up! Do as I say. I'll tell my husband on you. He's a very scary man.
What does he have to do with any of this?
You're talking back to me now? Huh, whatever. You better come pick me up in the morning.
No, I'm not doing that. I said no. I made myself pretty clear. I was kind of scared of her husband, but the car was already full, so my friends and I paid the bill and left. She was screaming as we walked out, but we just ignored her. Then, on Parents' Day, I picked up my friends and drove to the school. Mayu was growing up so fast. I was really proud of her. She's all grown up now. I was really happy for her. But then...
Hey, how dare you!
She came into the classroom screaming. She seemed pissed. She tried to come inside, and I didn't want to bother the teacher, so I stepped out to the hallway.
Why didn't you come pick me up?
I told you I wasn't going to. I think I made myself pretty clear the other day.
I was late because of you. I missed Alan's presentation. What are you going to do about it?
What? I don't know. It's not my problem. And stop yelling. You're disturbing everyone. I'm going back. Excuse me. She kept screaming until one of the teachers came and kicked her out. After that, I went back to the classroom and enjoyed the rest of class. Mayu said she was gonna play with some friends, so I decided to head home first. But then... Look! What the... My car! When I got back to my car, Arata and her son were damaging it. Stop! What are you doing?
This is what you get for ditching me.
Alan, stop! Stop that!
You were mean to Mom! Take that!
Stop! You can't do this!
Shut up! He's just a kid! Boys will be boys!
The car is ruined. It's gonna be really expensive to fix all this.
I'm not paying you a dime. This is what you get for going against me. Hope you learned your lesson.
How dare you?
What? What are you gonna do about it? You got a problem with me? I can call my husband if I want.
Your husband? You always say that. What does he do anyways?
He's Yakuza. You don't want to mess with him. Trust me, he'll kill you.
We didn't know what to say to her anymore. Alan was glaring at us too. He seemed really proud when his mom was talking about his dad. I've heard enough. I took out my phone and said, Yakuza, huh? I see. Okay then, I'm calling the cops.
Huh?
The anti-organized crime law. Ever heard of it? What you just did is blackmail. As soon as I took out my phone, she started freaking out.
Hold on, stop. Why get the cops involved?
Well, for starters, you damaged my car, and then you threatened me, so...
Hold on, I was only kidding.
You guys heard her too, right?
Yep.
She tried to make a run for it, but the other moms blocked the entrance. A few minutes later, the police arrived. I told her what they did. The officer took them both down to the station for some questioning. Alan was crying. I kind of felt bad for him. The next day, someone rang the doorbell. It was Arata and her husband.
I'm truly sorry about my wife.
Oh, your wife said you were Yakuza. Is that true?
What? No! I look kinda scary, so I get that a lot, but I'm just an ordinary businessman.
Turns out he wasn't even Yakuza. He apologized to us over and over again. His wife just said sorry and stayed quiet the entire time. Well, first you'll have to pay for the car repair.
Of course.
And I don't want your wife or your son anywhere near my daughter.
I understand.
And if something like this ever happens again, I'm going straight to the police.
Of course, I understand.
Oh, and you see the house across the street? She stole some crops from their farm during summer vacation. You should probably go apologize to them, too. Her husband seemed like a normal person, so I decided to get her back for all the things she's done. She started flipping out. She yelled at me, telling me to shut up, but her husband grabbed her and told her to back off. She didn't say a word after that.
She was stealing crops too? I had no idea. Thank you for telling me. We had to move out our old house because of her. I thought things would be different.
Oh, I see.
What else did she do? Tell me everything.
So I did. I told him everything she did. When I was done, her husband looked sick. Then he said, I can't do this anymore. I want a divorce. Arata started crying, but it was too late. A few weeks later, they got a divorce. I never saw Arata after that. Things went back to normal. Thank goodness. Mr. Arata got custody of his son. Sorry about everything. I'm gonna take him back to my parents' house. He paid me for all the damages and apologized to me one last time before moving out of town. He was always busy with work and he was barely home, so he said this was partially his fault. I asked him how his ex-wife was doing. She tried to go back to her parents' house, but they disowned her. She now works some dead-end job for minimum wage. I kinda felt bad, but oh well, she did this to herself, so after that, things went back to normal. Just glad she's out of our lives. Glad everything worked out.